Yo, what is up everybody? It is Jay the Great and welcome back to another combat sports related video here today. And today we got a video brought to you by FightHype.com. You know, they're always the first ones on the scene after, during, or before a high profile combat sports event. So this is Israel Adesanya keeps it 100 on Jon Jones, wants to smoke Jake Paul drip and A-side advice. From what I understand, this was right after the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. event, after he was done commentating. So here we're going to hear what he has to say. I'm curious. I know we all are. He's one of the biggest names in the sport right now of mixed martial arts. But before we begin, if you mess with the content, if you like what my content and mess with me, please think about showing some love. Any love is greatly appreciated. So just hit that like and that sub button to become part of the family if you haven't already, because once you do, you're part of it forever. But let's get straight to it. Screen. Let's get straight to it, man.
You do a great job commentating, man. You're a natural.
I skipped it a little because this is where he starts talking. I know that's what we all want. Right?
Hey, I see you. I know you.
Reporting. I know you. I'm a big fan. I want to see you and Jon Jones. Let's make it happen.
It's gonna happen. I told you, bro. I gotta get the 205 belt first. That's me doing that with Jan. Would you fight hype, right?
No,
Fight Hype right here.
ES
This is Fight Hype. This is Fight Hype. Yeah, this is Fight
I gotta tell
Hype.
you, I saw you and Joe. You faced off with the boxer in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Oh, I faced like maybe 7 boxers before. I'm 6-1 in boxing. Faced Brian Minto, beat him as well.
So how would you do if you fought tonight a boxer?
I've already fought boxing. I like fighting. I like fighting now. I like using everything. Yeah.
You look like James Bond today.
A little bit, something. I'm dripped up.
The Zone said that The Zone said that he was a premier opponent. The guy who fought Nate Diaz, what's his name? His name escapes me.
Wait, Jorge Masvidal?
Yeah, they said he was a premier opponent for Canelo. How does that make you feel as an MMA fighter? You're one of the top
I feel like,
in
bro,
there.
like, we don't have to keep doing this whole thing and go to boxing.
Canelo versus Jorge?
Listen to this, is smart. You're coming into a fight, and I'm not.
Let me get something straight. They just said Jorge is a premier candidate to face Canelo. Let me say something. Jorge, to me, might be the best boxer in the UFC right now. One of them for sure. But he would get absolutely outclassed by Canelo. Canelo is the very best on the planet right now. Either him or Errol Spence or Tyson Fury, that's up to you. It's up for grabs, but he's in the conversation. It wouldn't be that much of a fight, in my opinion. Let's continue.
I'm telling you, you can't.
But Jorge would obviously kill Canelo in the octagon.
You gotta come to the cage. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me to go into your fight and then like, all right, you can't question marks on. I can't fucking do my thing. I want to make sure I use all my weapons. So no one's telling you not to do what you're good at. But I'm saying, if you want the smoke, the octagon's where it's at.
All right, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones brought the smoke tonight. What did you see from your
I love the
angle?
fight, man. I like the fact that they both came in shape. They both did work at 51 and 54 years of age. And yeah, you can't ask for more. Mike was fit, was making a miss, good footwork, his angles.
Yeah.
Roy was trying to do the dart, stick and move, all that kind of stuff.
You've been studying now.
I agree.
Hey, man. Bro, I mean, there's a reason
Mike looked very good for his age.
They both did what they
Roy
did.
looked okay.
After,
decent.
3 years, 15 years out of the game. So yeah, respect to them. You can't ask for more. And my opinion.
And like Israel, I felt Mike won pretty handedly.
The fact it was a draw, and they were cool with it.
What's your thoughts on the possible?
But I'm okay with the draw too, like Israel just said.
Hey, what's up, bro? I thought you were trying to. I'm very well.
What do you think overall of what you saw there? You were commentating, you had a closer view than anybody. What do you make of what went down with Mike and Roy?
Yeah, I thought Mike won the fight, but it was close. Mike controlled, his own emotions better. Roy was able to stick and move, but Mike was able to make him miss and try and make him pay. Yeah, it was a good fight.
Do you think either or showed enough, in your opinion, on Fight Hub?
Fight Hub, okay, I know you as well.
What did you think of Jake's
I know you guys before.
What did you think of Jake's fall?
Hey, big dog.
It's Izzy! It's Izzy! It's Izzy!
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Good to see you.
And shout out to Jake Paul, man, getting the biggest moment of the night with that knockout over Nate Robbins. Well done.
Hey, champ, he stole the show tonight.
You did.
He stole the show tonight.
I'm telling you, you're getting
Bro,
better, man.
I'm your biggest fan.
It's your shot selection. That's one thing you do. You didn't rush when you heard it. You didn't rush. Yeah, respect to you, man.
Bro, I broke my nose.
I heard. Meditating, so you were breathing, shamanic breathing?
Yeah, so
Pineal gland breath work.
Yeah.
I broke my nose, so I hadn't been able to spar.
Yeah.
So I felt like I wasn't as sharp.
Now you look good.
My
you were hungry.
jab wasn't landing.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you sparring as well. You've been working. Iced out, my man.
But dripping down. Come on, bro.
We
Hey, Jake,
come out to
Calabasas. Come out to Calabasas.
I'm gonna chill for a bit and I'll come through.
Can we bring him? Can we bring him to camp next time?
Yeah.
Is he-
I'm too far away, but if we're ever around, we can get some work.
Yeah, Izzy's the man. He's the
I
goat.
will.
Lucas
I'll find you.
You already know. You
Don't let.
Put me on game now.
I got you.
He doesn't want to expose his number now, right?
I'm new to this. I'm new to this.
He needs a shot.
No.
He's working. Sorry.
Also, I'm making a
These guys.
Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather breaking news video. You know, that will be up probably the day before this video. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out because by the time this is up, that'll be up. Should be right here.
Yeah, your commentary was fire. I was saying like I want to see how Izzy's commentary. Like,
I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest. Like I said.
You were in your flow state. You like crushed it.
Crushed. You were having fun too.
Ah yeah. Can you get an iPhone one? iPhone.
Hit him with this.
Yeah. Get the iPhone. Get the iPhone.
Iconic.
iPhone gets more
Today is
engagement.
Bruce Lee's birthday. He's 80 years old today.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
All right, ready? You got an iPhone one?
There's not much on John Jones, but I like hearing what Israel has to say. So let's just keep it moving. If it gets very ridiculous, like nothing relevant, then
Keep crushing it, bro. Go. Yeah.
Hey, Izzy, just real quick. Izzy, one last question. Do you think based on what you saw, Mike and Roy should fight again?
I gotta go.
Thank you. Easy.
all right. Let's kind of go ahead here.
You gonna fight John or what? Hey, watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
Trying to see if I hear anything else that's relevant.
Is you ain't running because you gonna beat John, aren't you? Is.
Don't worry.
Israel, quick picture really quick before you go.
All right, no worries.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
You come over here too, Tina.
Okay.
She need one too, bro, and you good.
Oh shit. Ready? There you go.
All right, they're just taking pictures.
What did he tell you about your fighting? The UFC would have been fight of the night. What did he say?
Told me I would have been fighting tonight. Just train harder. I come up on the
I don't know what this is.
I came up great for the sport of boxing.
All right, that's where we're gonna stop that. It was a cool little video. I thought we were gonna hear more on John Jones. It's cool seeing him interact with Jake Paul, giving him his props. I do respect Jake Paul for what he's done. As far as Israel and John Jones, obviously we gotta wait for Israel to defeat Jan Blachowicz, which I think he will, and you know, all likelihood he wins the belt at light heavyweight, and then he makes himself even more marketable when it comes to the John Jones fight. You know, he'll be the champ at the division that John left, you know, to be a heavyweight. I think that's very smart business-wise and just in general because he's just improving, fighting a light heavyweight, seeing how he will do against a bigger, stronger man compared to the other men he's fought. You know, he's fought some strong guys. I mean, he fought Romero and Costa. Those guys are fucking monsters, but, you know, he's going to get tested and we're going to see how he handles a bigger, stronger man in the UFC. I mean, Jan is a big dude. He's 6'3", around, I'm going to say he walks around 230, around there. He's a big dude. A lot of power. So this is gonna be a very good test for Israel Adesanya. I'm excited. I can't wait till that fight, which I think will be in around March. I don't think there's been a set date, but I'm guessing around March because that's when Jan wanted it. That's what I saw in an ESPN interview with Ariel Helwani. So what I have to say about that fight, since that one is all, you know, most likely going to happen, I believe Israel's going to do what he does best. Keep his distance. He does have a reach advantage on Jan, I believe. He's going to have to keep distance to avoid that power that Jan definitely has, which we saw that on full display against Corey Anderson, and we saw on full display against Dominic Reyes. So he's going to have to use his distance control, which he's one of the best at. You know, his feints, his beautiful setups, his change of angles, everything. His whole arsenal, he's going to need it against Jan. Because I think he might be the hardest hitter that Israel has faced in the UFC besides maybe Yoel Romero. Yoel has some power. You know, he landed a good one on Israel in the first round. But I think Israel probably wins by decision, I'd say. He could win by a knockout. That's going to be kind of difficult, you know. I know it's going to be harder to control distance because this guy's closer to his length and stature and things of that nature. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult than when he fought Paulo Costa. It was a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact compared to Jan Blachowicz. So this is going to be interesting to see. And sometimes I'm wrong, man. I'm wrong quite a bit. Who knows? Maybe Jan knocks out Israel, and that's the end of the story. There is no John Jones in Israel. You know, if he fails that test, it's either going to be off or it's going to be a hard sale. I think there's going to be a lot of doubters if Israel loses that fight. If Israel loses that fight, which I don't think will happen. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. On the John Jones fight as of now, if let's say they were to fight in their current versions, it would be very competitive. You know, I love John. He's a GOAT in my opinion. You could say all the PED bullshit and all that. At the end of the day, USADA said it was always insignificant amounts of PEDs. So I'm not going to even, no. But as far as this fight, John actually has a reach advantage on Izzy. He's bigger than Izzy. I'm sure he's more physically imposing than Izzy, stronger than Izzy. But Izzy, of course, is a better striker. In my opinion, he's the best overall striker in the sport right now. So John, I think, will want to close the distance. He won't want to let Izzy get going. Kind of similar to what Jan has to do, except John. I believe John's a better fighter than Jan. He's gonna have to close the distance and maybe make it just a grappling exchange. You know, bring him to the wrestling world in this fight. You know, bring him to the ground, tire him out, beat him, maul him, and you know, pressure him. That's what he's gonna have to do. But does John have the cardio? That's a question. And does he have the skill that he used to have in his prime? You know, he's not. I feel like he's slowed down just a tad over the years. He's only 33. He's not old by any stretch, but he has slowed down a tad. If you compare him, you know, a couple of years ago when he fought Daniel Cormier the first time, even the second time, you know, when he fought Alexander Gustafsson, he was able to go and go. You know, there is just something there that's not here now. It's not that significant. I still think he's probably the best light heavyweight in that division. I mean, he's not light heavyweight now technically, but when he was the best light heavyweight in the division. Obviously, that Dominic Reyes fight was very close when he fought Dominic, and then it's over. I mean, Dominic got his ass whooped by Jan. I think he let the hype get to his head. But John's in an interesting spot, you know. At heavyweight, you know, I think he won't have to worry about, you know, speed, but he's going to have to worry about power. He'll probably have the speed advantage in most situations against most fighters, especially the big guys like Curtis Blades and all those big heavyweights. But his defense is going to have to be even better. If he has the type of defense that he had against Dominic Reyes, he gets knocked out. Let's say it's Francis that lands out one of the uppercuts that Dominic landed against John, he gets knocked out. So John's going to have to be even more cautious against these men. Big, strong men that can knock you out with one punch, you know. It's legitimate power at heavyweight. Very, very dangerous power at heavyweight. More so than light heavyweight, clearly. But I hope Israel and John Jones happens at light heavyweight, because if it happens at heavyweight, I don't know, man. I don't know if Israel has to put on muscle or what. I'm sure he does not walk around 225. He looks around 210, 212 max. That's what he said a few interviews ago that I saw that he walks around at. So he'll definitely have to put on muscle if he goes to heavyweight. And I think that could be kind of problematic. I don't know if that will compromise his performance, make him slower, or just make him feel different, you know. Because when you put on a lot of weight, things change, you know. Things change, timing changes. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of factors that go into gaining muscle to that extent. You know, he's got to gain like 12 to 15 pounds of muscle just to meet the minimum requirement to be a heavyweight, I believe. John has no problem. He's around 240 right now. He looks you know, big. He looks ready. So that will be very, very interesting if the fight takes place at heavyweight. If it takes place at light heavyweight, very competitive fight. If it takes place at light heavyweight, I don't know if it's as competitive. If it even happens. I mean, Israel could probably put on the muscle if he really wanted to, right? But I don't know if that's a good idea. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I know I ranted here for a while. I kind of wanted to make up for this video. I thought there was going to be more to it, but I still reacted to it for you guys. And if you watched this far and watched my rant, I appreciate you guys, man. If you enjoyed the content, if you enjoy, you know, you mess with me, you mess with what I do here, please feel free, like I said, feel free to show some love, man. I love any support. You know, I love you guys. So hit that like button. And if you haven't already become part of the family, hit that sub button, because once you do, you're part of it forever. But I'll catch you in the next reaction video. This is Jay the Great signing out. Peace.